Welcome to Lurker on Ascended. You summon the boss by fishing him up. The boss have two phases, above water and underwater. Above water, the boss have four mechanics. Reflective scales, which reflects 10% of damage done by players back to them. This includes range damage and any form of AoE damage. Whirlwind, this is a spin attack that does decent damage to players and knocks everyone in range backwards into the water. Spout, where he spits water for 15 seconds and spins in a random direction around the donut platform. If you are hit by this, you will constantly get knocked back, silenced, and take some chunky damage. And finally, Geyser, which is a knock-up AoE effect with damage on a random player or players. The amount of these scale with the amount of players in the group. When the boss goes underwater, he will be gone. There will spawn two archers on each island. These attack random players, but they sometimes put a focus mark on players, where they will only hit that player. Divine protection helps. There is also one melee ad that spawns from each island. These hit really hard, but can be managed via threat. They have a death grip ability with about 10 seconds cooldown. On Ascended, you will find a big tentacle spawning in one of 4 spawn locations. If there is nobody tanking it in melee range, it will cast a smash ability. This will damage all players, but you can stun it to interrupt it. When the tentacle dies, the boss will lose some amount of health. That's the fight, guys. Let me show you what I would do. Above water, melee and healers want to stand close to the boss, and range DPS at the outer edge of the donut platform. This is to easily counter Geyser. After Whirlwind, try to get back in position. Press escape to clear your target if you're low health and wait for heals. Pay attention to where the boss looks. Usually you will see the boss suddenly look in a different way, which means he will cast Spout. He will always cast Spout into a whirlwind before going below water. The first time he will cast Spout once before going under. After that he will cast Spout twice before going under. As a tank, you want to dip your toes underwater to avoid getting knocked back. Off-tank wants to be second in threat to avoid the boss suddenly one-hitting a melee. Usually with Whirlwind there's a knockback, which makes the boss, for whatever reason, target a melee instead sometimes. With the off-tank second in threat, this basically terminates the risk of this. Below water, as a tank, you want to make sure that you are on the opposite sides. That way you can pick up the melee ads easier and get ready for the tentacle to spawn and better coverage. It might be hard to catch up in healing after Whirlwind into the ad phase. This fight is usually pretty healing intense. An extra healer might solve it for you. Usually melee takes care of the tentacle and the melee ads, while the range DPS kill the archers. At the end, you can help each other finish whatever is left. It can feel very natural as a healer to stack in melee range, but I would recommend standing between melee and range players so that the range players don't die because they don't get heals. Thanks for watching, guys, and good luck.